Happy Tuesday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is that time for Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays. I am just recovering. I'm feeling a little bit rested now, and it's going to be a great show. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Lisa P., Lisa Puerto, super agent, the one, the only, and the original. And every Tuesday for 13 minutes of our time, we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience. So I welcome you. I welcome you for joining. Be sure to say hi, say hello, drop a comment in the chat box. Let me know you're here. I just want to make sure I take care of logistics. And we're going to get right into it. So my Instagram fam, I'm back. I was having some hiccups with my phone the last couple episodes, maybe the last 2 episodes. But nevertheless, we are here together. Yay. Yay. And I want to share just kind of about my weekend, my bunny weekend. I have been quite on the bunny journey. If I recall, we are on episode number 48. And I just want to make sure that I get that all set up. All set up. And I'm calling this episode, let me do this real quick. I'm calling this episode, I love that little track. It's like every time it come on, I remember having a good time, good time. Episode 48, I'm calling Failing Makes You Less Than an Idiot. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, quote unquote mistakes, because it's all relative, good, bad, it's all relative. It's all based on personal definitions, because really the lesson here is to learn and grow. The lesson here is to learn and grow. And boy, have I been learning. I have been learning. I trust you have been doing the same. And I just want to first share that I did one of those it's not a leap of faith moment, but I just had to like jump out and do something because my spirit was nudging me to do it. And I went ahead and said, all right, I feel like I need to be at this conference. And sometimes it's not so much about what we think it is. Hey there on the Instagram. Sometimes it's not so much what we think the initial plan is, but it's the experience around that plan. And so I'm going to have to, without speaking in like code, I did this conference in Vegas, and it was very informational, but it was what happened while I was there, like from the plane ride to checking into the hotel to connecting with people. So I just really enjoyed the journey, and life really has a blueprint. People are like, there's really no blueprint to life. No, there really is. And it comes in the form of metaphors, allegory, similes, symbology, symbols, the study of symbols. If you are not hip to studying symbols yet, get hip to it, because everything around you is your creation, your co-creation. That's all I'm going to say about that, because that's my favorite space to be in. And it's a very deep space to be in. That's a rabbit hole. I don't know if you're ready to go down that journey yet. So we're just going to keep it on the shift your thinking level, which is why I do the show. Shift your thinking is my way to just really bring what I do in terms of my daily practice in training my mind, hashtag brain exercise, training my mind so that I am creating the reality, the life that I want to experience, that I want my family to experience, that I want my friends to experience, that I want my community to experience. It's just me, and it doesn't have to be that way for you. But thanks for joining me anyway and chiming in. So I'm going to get right into it. The author says, effort times failure equals just about anything you want. I love that. Effort times failure equals just about anything you want. Yes. Gosh, I wish someone would type that in for me. That's awesome. I'd love to have that on the screen. He says it all started in school. Listen to the conditioning. It all started in school, he says. Pass or fail. I just thought about this too. There's, a little kid popped in my head about this, but I'll go on. Pass meant you were safe until the next test. Fail meant that going home was an experience you'd rather not relive. Fail also left us to entertain an inventory of self-judgment ranging from I'm an idiot to I'll never make it to I don't really care. All lies, all lies, lies, all the wrong perspectives. This is true. And I really like the way he packs words together. For those of you who are new to me, I'm an avid reader, tons of books. This is one that we're doing together, Shift Your Thinking, 200 Ways to Improve Your Life by Dean Del Sesto. Make sure you get connected on the archive on the YouTube in case you can't connect with me on the live at 8:10 Pacific time every Tuesday, which is 11:10 Eastern as well. This is a bonus series on the Ready, Set, Real Estate podcast. And I see, based on the downloads, you guys are really enjoying Shift Your Thinking. You're also enjoying Ready, Set, Real Estate. So I love you, love you, love you for that. That is my moment of failing to be less of an idiot. I'm willing to step out and learn this podcast stuff so that I can get the message that I'm passionate about, but it also allows me to connect with you all and not assume that everyone knows the same thing. So I'm really excited about what's happening there. That is my pass or fail. As I fail my way forward, I become less of an idiot, and I'm not afraid to become less of an idiot. Effort times failure equals just about anything I want. I'm so happy about that. And he says the conditioning starts very early, pass or fail, and feeling like there's this next test, there's this next quiz. It's just, will I make it? Did I make it? And like he said, a self-inventory of judgment. That is a very powerful statement. Self-inventory of judgment. Oh my goodness. I really am enjoying this. Evan, shout out to those of you who are tuning in and viewing. Thank you all. Love you. The reason for this common view of failure, he says, is that the value in failing is something few people are equipped to talk about, mainly because they hold their own failures as a failure. Listen to that. And here's the thing, we're learning together, which is why I say connect, build, and share. I'm saying I'm willing to fail forward in learning using Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Anchor FM, and the podcast platform to learn, and I'm willing to step out and make the mistakes. Now, let me share this. I'm now on LinkedIn, thanks to Martin. Shout out to Martin Pratt. I'm now on LinkedIn because he's like, you need to be on LinkedIn. And so he has me doing this 40 days of tips, taking Shift Your Thinking episodes, the snippet I snipped the episode, I reposted on LinkedIn, and I'm just kind of building my LinkedIn tribe or family there. And It's so funny because that's something I'm learning that's new. But what I also saw in looking at the archives of Shift Your Thinking, now, mind you, on episode 48, we have about 152 more episodes to go. I am committed to completing this book in a web series, in a radio series. And what excites me about that is two things: my commitment to do it, because I'm training my mind. This is all brain exercise, disciplining myself to stick with it. Two, I really want to see, it's a vlog, right? It's a vlog. For those of you who don't know what vlogs are, it's a video blog. It is a way for me to see and measure my own growth. And already in episode 48, as I look, when I first started, I stumbled at this. I never intended to do what I'm doing now. I now have a designer. I have a design team. I now have an audio track to open up the show, close the show. I have grown, but I was willing to fail at it so I can be less of an idiot. Don't be offended by that. Don't be insulted by being less of an idiot when you are learning something, because learning is a perspective, a vantage point, a point of view that is so powerful. It is so powerful when we're talking about learning, because let me say this: every expert was once a beginner. That statement always humbles me. That statement always encourages me, arms me, empowers me to move forward in the wild ideas that I have. It allows me to move forward into, I'd say outside my comfort, but in my comfort, because that even is a twofold analogy. Because outside the comfort is where you should be, but it is a comfort because that's where you're supposed to be. But you don't know that because you have the invisible blinds. You have the glasses. You know, it's what you perceive it to be. So I really love this. Thank you all for joining me. If you're new to Shift Your Thinking, welcome. We're transforming our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience for 13 minutes. We are now episode 48. I'm calling this episode "Failing Makes You Less Than an Idiot." I had to reread that because we already got some gems. We've got some gems. He says, failure is nothing more than a unique opportunity. Failure is nothing more than a unique opportunity to become a better, more aware human being. I just said this. I love when I channel. I just let it flow. You should let it flow. You too can let it flow. And he says, so rather than taking months, years, or a lifetime to get over a failure, our reaction should be to have grace on ourselves, learn and grow through the experience, and get on with the next thing within hours or days, not months or years. Listen to this. Failing to be less of an idiot. Who's willing to fail to be less of an idiot? Now that we're talking about, it is an opportunity to grow. Soul growth is what we're talking about. Living your full potential is what we're talking about, is what we're about. We're embodying that. The ability to live our full potential. But if we don't step out and are willing to go through the pass and the fail, because it's all relative. There is, it's like when I hear people talk about success and wealth, those are loaded words. Pass, that's a loaded word. Fail, that's a loaded word. Why? Because it is different for everyone. That it's defined differently for everyone. You can make it whatever you want. Remember this for this week. This is really good, you guys. Effort times failure equals just about anything you want. And I feel that way. I have a lot more energy today after this weekend because I was committed to see it through as I was looking at what was happening. I mean, I'm telling you, there were snippets. If you want to learn more about it, I'm not going to use up the show time to talk about the personal experience that happened this weekend in Las Vegas, but get at me, DM me. It's fine. We can build. I love sharing these stories is because that's when you know you're operating from your truth. That is when you know you're operating from your divinity, your I am. Through a series of my own failures, the author says, I've come to learn that taking chances and risking failure is a genius strategy for ensuring success. Look at that. I just said this. Fail away, I say. How are you feeling about this, Landscape Lowry? How are you feeling about this? You feel this? Because this is what I'm saying. Failing to become less of an idiot. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Because when you were born, you were willing to touch the fire. You were willing there was something innate in you that said, maybe I can get off of my knees and stand flat. Let me make use of my feet. Give thanks if you have it. Let me make use of all my senses, my motor skills. Give thanks if you have it. I used to work with children on the autistic spectrum. Give thanks. I have an uncle that's special needs. Give thanks that you have the abilities that you have. According to some executives, he says, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. According to some executives, a venture risked, then failed, can have the value equivalent to a master's degree for those who maintain a teachable posture in the process. I actually heard this before. That it's not there's, I believe it was Napoleon Hill that defined what education was. And it was the first time I heard it defined this way. And he defined education as the ability in man/woman, the ability in the human being to take the tools they have and use them for the benefit of themselves and others. I'm paraphrasing the definition of education. And we see this happen all the time. The pursuit of degrees versus the pursuit of experience. The pursuit of degrees, albeit education, BA, BS, MA, MS, PhD, all that, versus experience. And you will see time and time again that the experience, even when you think about this, when the jobs are asking you how much experience you have, it's wonderful to have the degree, but the experience of what you bring to the table is immense. Yes. Landscape Lowry says, I'm loving it. I'm learning that failing creates the greatest lessons that, guess what? No one can take from you. No one can take that from you. Your degree, they can take that from you. Your degree can be taken from you. Your diploma, the accreditation, if that institution loses their ability to perform, and they can lose their accreditation. I remember my high school years ago. I mean, I graduated salutatorian, top of my class, but years ago they had lost their accreditation at one point. What does that do for all of the students that are attending? Their high school diploma becomes nil, nothing. Your experience cannot be taken from you. Listen to this. Effort times failure equals just about anything you want. Do not be afraid to fail forward. And we hear tons of motivational people and, all the people that are rah, rah, rah. And they talk about, they have that constant denominator, that consistent denominator about not being afraid to fail, willing to make the mistake, because making the mistake is really the vantage point, because you say, I'm not going to do that again. I won't do that again. Now I know. Let's wrap this up, y'all. Let's wrap this up. I got meetings. You've got things to do. Catch it on a replay if you just jumped in. This was a phenomenal one. Episode 48. Go back and view the replay. He says, and as a learning mechanism, failure does one thing that education can't always do. It creates an emotional, as opposed to cerebral, connection to transformation that is rarely forgotten. It's called those synapses. The synapses. I always share about this. I really loved biological psychology. I'm a psych. I have a psych degree. And that was one of the profound things I learned, the way the brain works. With every new experience, every time you learn something, there's a synaptic connection in the brain that then is like tentacles that finds its way in your brain to something else. And you really get that dopamine release that says, this feels good. This feels good. So I leave you with this as we get to wrap this up. Effort times failure equals just about anything you want. All right, you guys, have a productive and powerful week. I love you, love you, love you. Be sure to connect, build, and share with me on all social media at lasuperagent, wherever you like to dabble and have fun. My favorite is Instagram, so I'm normally there, but I come on for Shift Your Thinking and Ready, Set, Real Estate, and I just chime in on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, just building out the channel, so thank you. Thank you for those of you who are subscribing. I love you, love you, love you.